Hey la 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 la. And we're live. Marcus Conte reporting. We're live. We're live. Hey la 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 la. And we're live. Mark. Enter the stream. Marcus in the morning. We're entering the stream. The spherical, swirling circle inward. Traveling to space, deep space. We're going back to the moon. We're going back to the moon. Mofos. Morning, everybody. Listening to the sounds of Granny Cat. Before I shut it off. Granny Cat. Good morning, everybody. How you doing, man? Mark Scotty reporting. What are we talking about today? How you doing, man? How you doing? Oh, where's my thumbnail? I forgot to put my thumbnail up. One second. Oh, here it is. Yes, we're going. We're exploring space today again. All right, we got Artemis heading to the moon. All right, we've got a new telescope, a very powerful telescope, showing us a planet from more than 35 million light years away. Do you believe it? We're taking pictures of something 35 million light years away. Right? And there's people standing on the planet that dispute that the planet is even here. Now, people don't dispute that the planet's here. Some people dispute that the moon is actually not there, that it is liquid. That you can't land on something that's liquid. It's an illusion, right? There is no dark side, light side. Right? It's all flat, and right. Our concepts of curvature, our concepts of distance and space is very, very convoluted. I think we see ourselves as something larger than our surroundings. Look how big we are. We walk through and look at all this little microscopic nonsense around us, right? But really, when you pull the telescope back even further, we are the microscopic particles as well, and more so, right? Because space is infinite. Do we agree on that? Do we agree that if we travel infinitely out into space, that there is no end to it, right? Or maybe it's a circle. We circle back to where we started. Is space your software? This is what we deal with. All right, we're back. It looks like we came back. So what I was saying is that, do we believe that space is infinite? Some people say, well, no, you got to hit an end at some point. Well, if you travel into space infinitely, right, and you hit an end, what's on the other side of the end? Where does the end end? Right? If there's a wall, then something's on the other side of the wall, right? So we can theoretically agree that space is infinite. Right? But here's the kicker. Here's the thing that might surprise you. If space is infinite outward, it is also infinite inward. Right? There's no end to the minimalization of particles. Now think about it. Your body is technically composed of, infinite numbers of galactic planets, if you will, right? Maybe there's entire planets within each cell of our body, and that we as humans on this planet are just a mere cell in the billions and trillions and infinitely larger cells, right? So what I'm trying to say is that when you really wrap your head around it, that space travel is infinite, and that's why I find it fascinating. I find, going to the moon and seeing photographs of a galaxy millions and millions of light years away. A million light years means that if we're traveling at the speed of light, it would take 185 million years to get there, and we're taking pictures of it. Right? But we all on Earth can't agree that the Earth is a sphere to a large extent. Now, I know most people get it and see it, but there are those who will argue tooth and nail that it is fucking flat, man. The whole shit is distorted and not real. So we'll talk about that. Also, Trump on the fire again. It looks like they're going to try to indict Donald J. Trump, former president of the United States, for obstruction of justice. No other thing but obstruction, right? It looks like Trump was saying, "Yeah, fuck you. I'm not giving you anything." And then that turned into, "Yeah, I got a couple of boxes. Come and get it." And that turned into, "Yeah, I got a couple of boxes locked in a crate somewhere. Come and get it." And it turns out, as the evidence starts to roll out, that Trump actually had more top secret classified crap in his house than he told the almighty prestigious Department of Justice and the FBI, right? Who's supposed to represent justice in our country, right? And so it looks like they got Trump. It looks like they're going to get him on a process crime, a process technicality. Why? Because he's running for president, and they don't want him. They don't want him near the White House ever again. So we'll look at that story. As I said earlier, Artemis, the moon blast off, is scheduled again for Saturday at 2 p.m. We'll look at the details from the NASA site, and we'll have a look at that. Joe Rogan caught with his foot in his mouth, telling everybody vote Republican. Right? You didn't like how the establishment handled the pandemic? Great, vote Republican. Right? And for that, there are cries that he will be to cancel him. Here's my thumbnail. Oh, there's my thumbnail. I got it twice. Oh, that's Granny Cat. All right, so we'll look at those stories. Happy Thursday to you. Tomorrow is Freaky Friday. Bring on your freak tomorrow. We'll have we're gonna have the live video chat. You're welcome to join us. We'll start that a couple of minutes into the program. Maybe once I'll speed read the news a little bit, and then we'll talk. We'll open up the floor to the viewers of this program, and that's tomorrow, Freaky Friday. So I have a website. My name is Marcus Conti. I am a guy who makes videos almost daily and have been doing it for years and years and years. Every morning, if you're wondering where we are, we're somewhere every morning at 9 a.m. You don't need notification. You just come down, marcusconti.com. Right now, we're on YouTube. If we're not here, we're on DLive. Always, and the link will always be right here on my front page. Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Right now, we're on YouTube. You click it, and it takes you right to the live stream. No problem. Right? Here's all the videos. I think we're up to number 32. Welcome to live stream, live Marcus in the Morning, number 32. We're shooting for 100. 100. And then we'll assess after the 100 if we're going to continue at all. I might retire after 100 videos. I didn't tell anybody that, but I might call it quits. I might call it quits after 100 and reincarnate into some other bizarre character. Right before your eyes, I might become somebody else. Right. So we're in 32. You've got another 70 some odd shows. To look at me like this. And also look at the markets at 9:30. Markets getting slammed right now. They don't like what Jerome Powell, the head of the Federal Reserve, is saying. They believe he's too hawkish, that the recession is real, that inflation can't be fixed by punishing Wall Street by jacking up the short-term interest rate and all this nonsense. Right? So we'll look at all those stories. What else we got here? Yeah, so that's my thumbnail. Is this? And there's also Tip Jar, Patreon, and PayPal. These are links that you can support the program. Best way to support this program is come by, hit the like button, subscribe, and tell people we're back. And this is it's your channel, right? So let's start here. New York City. Thank you for posting this in the secret posting room. How New York City crime got worse than Brazil. Now, this is happening on the streets of New York City. My hometown, where I spent 98% of my life.
So how did New York City turn into Brazil?
Right, we got kids driving on the. This happens in Brazil, by the way, where motorcycle bandits are robbing people. Right. You're walking along the street and two thugs pull up and chase you with a fucking motorcycle, try to tear your chain off your neck, rip your wallet out of your pocket, right? Trying to beat the. This is like, look, this is one of the biggest reasons to learn how to defend yourself, whether it's with a gun or a bat or a big stick. Everybody should be carrying chains, right? All right, that's happening right now in New York City, man. It's fucking crazy, right? Crazy. What do I do? Well, you do that shit to me, man, right? You do that shit to me. You do that to me, and what happens? What happens? I pull out my steak knife, right? I carry my steak. I carry this steak. When I'm walking in New York City, I got my steak knife with me, right? Because I love steak, right? And I carry that shit with me, right? And I don't even eat steak sometimes. The steak knife. I cut my vegetables with that. Now, this is fascinating, right? Because we're about to explore deep space, right? With Artemis and this new telescope and such, right? But we don't even know, like we had a giant ship back in 1912 called the Titanic. And one day it decided to sink in the Atlantic Ocean with like 2,000 people on board, killing, I guess 75% of the people. There were like 700 survivors of the Titanic. But there's a new video, right? Because we have new tools right now, right? And we get to see in explicit detail, right? Explicit detail what was going on with the Titanic. Check this shit out. Right? Not what's going on, but what's down there. Look at this. So 8K video of the Titanic. Look at this. We've never seen stuff quite as riveting as this. This is the Titanic. It's down in the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean somewhere. And these fine investigators dropped the camera down there. And we're getting to see some riveting images of the Titanic. Look at that. There's the anchor and the chain, the big chain. All right, there it is, man. There it is. All right, infamous, historic, famous shipwreck. The most famous shipwreck in the world, right? And that was right. So that's new footage, and here's some stills, right? So a new high-resolution video of the Titanic wreckage was released Tuesday, showing the sunken vessel shot in 8K resolution for the first time since it sank 110 years ago. The clip released by Ocean Gate Expeditions shows the hull of the sunken vessel and some brand new features. So here's some of the photo stills of pulled from the video. Fascinating, right? Leonardo DiCaprio would be pleased, right? The ship's demise was the inspiration of the 1997 film Titanic, starring Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet. Right? It was the biggest ship in history, filled with celebrities of the time. The film's 68-year-old director, James Cameron said, the 110th anniversary of the sinking, or whatever. But I don't know. The images are pretty, riveting, man. Technology, right? That's what we have over what they had prior. We have very sophisticated camera and video stuff, right? So there it is, man. There's the Titanic. It's spectacular, right? So Artemis, ding, ding, ding. Artemis, the rocket, the rocket ship heading back to the moon, and not even landing on it, but going to go to the moon with fake people in the fucking hull, in the capsule. They got 3 crash test dummies in the tip of the rocket. There's no people, right? It's an unmanned rocket. We're steering the rocket from Florida. There's a bunch of guys that know how to steer rockets sitting in Kennedy fucking Space Center in Florida, where they're going to blast off this giant rocket toy into space, go around the moon, a few miles off the moon's surface, and then shoot 40,000 miles into deep space just for the fuck of it to get a couple of good photos, and then head back to Earth, where it's going to splash down 45 days later. Now, it was scheduled for a few days ago, but it got scrubbed because one of the engines wouldn't fire up. All right, so they scrubbed it, but here it is on NASA's site. NASA is targeting 2:17 p.m. Eastern Time on Saturday, September 3rd. So this Saturday, September 3rd at 2 p.m., there'll be a 2-hour launch window, and we're gonna get to see it. What are we seeing? Are we watching CGI technology? Are we really watching a fucking rocket take off from Florida? Some people will ask. Is it real? Come on, man. We can't get into outer deep space because there's a layer there that prevents us from doing it, man. So we're going to try one more time, I guess. Again, we already did it in 1969, allegedly. Did we really penetrate the outer limits of Earth's atmosphere and send 3 men to the moon in a fucking, I'm getting jammed up. What looks like a golf cart, right? We put a golf cart wrapped in aluminum foil on the moon, and 2 guys played golf, hitting golf balls into deep space. There's a lot of people that don't believe it. It never happened, right? Well, I don't know, because how could you land on something that's not there, right? It's liquid. Right? And then there's a dark side, and there's people speculating that when you get there, on the other side of the moon, you're gonna find the Chinese who are already there. That's another theory, right? The Chinese are already on the dark side of the moon, right? Pink Floyd sang about it. I'll see you on the dark side of the moon, right? There's people on the dark side of the moon. The Russians and the Chinese are hanging out on the dark side of the moon. We're going to get a shot at that because it's only dark if you're looking at it from our angle. Did you know that? When we look up, we see the moon because the sun is behind us, right? And the sun's light is hitting the moon, so we could see it lit up. But what happens if you're on the other side of the moon looking into the sun, right? You're going to see, or do it at night, right? When the sun is creating light on both the dark side of the moon and the earth. Look, it's all very fascinating. I'm no rocket scientist, but I can tell you, man, this is amazing stuff, man. NASA set the set coverage. What else can we learn about this? So 2 p.m., hold on. We're going back to the moon. We're going back to where we never were. The launch countdown will there's a live video of it, right? So there's going to be all kinds of talks leading up to it. And hopefully they won't scrub it. Hopefully the next launch will happen. Right? What else we got? Yeah, here's the live stream. There's a live video. I don't know, some kind of official live stream. So Saturday we'll watch starting at 5 a.m. I'll be sleeping, and we'll watch the propellant loading of the thing, and then coverage of the launch. And then at 5 p.m., Artemis post-launch news. It's going to get up there quick. It only takes like a few minutes or 20 minutes to get and crash through. Look, if the rocket gets into, deep orbit, right, passes this layer that many humans claim cannot be penetrated, we're going to have a breaking story, right? Because you got to say, like, well, you gotta eat your fucking hat, right? If Artemis can break through the outer perimeter of Earth's spherical blah, 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 and safely in one piece get the fuck off the planet and head to the moon, right? You gotta rule out that we never got there, or it's impossible, right? Or it was staged, and then we figured it out later. One or the other. Now, I would speculate that if you can get a rocket to penetrate the outer perimeter of the Earth's atmosphere safely without getting blown to 50,000 pieces, I would say that you could stick a couple of humans in there and survive it. Right? Because if the rocket survives, you could build a capsule that could sustain that kind of, nonsense. If the metal doesn't melt and break apart, then you can get a capsule up there with some humans in it and not smash apart, which opens the door to the next level of travel to the moon. Look, again, I think it's official when man finally steps down on the planet and we have high-quality video equipment that shows it's actually happening. There are people on Earth right now, whether you believe it or not, that actually have their own telescopic equipment in their house that can look out the fucking window at night and see the moon. And some claim they even see the flag that the former astronauts left there. Right? They put a flag in the ground, right, and left some shitty equipment behind. There's people on Earth right now that can see that from their fucking house. So it's going to be not only televised, but it's going to be watched by millions and millions of, well, not millions, but a lot of amateur astronomers, people that have and spend money on telescopes, that they have them in their yard and for their kids and all that stuff. So they're going to confirm as well that this shit is either real or this shit is totally fucking staged, designed to scare us and scare our enemies because communism is coming. Right? That's the argument. So we're going to be watching this very, very closely. So also, we have what's called a Webb telescope. Right? People have telescopes in their house, but we have a big one. Right? NASA has a really big one. The NASA's Webb telescope. Holy shit, we got to go to the markets. Stop everything. Drop everything. The market is open. We'll come back to this story in 1 second. I just want to capture what's going on in the markets. They look like they're getting slammed right now. And we are open. It looks like we're open. We're going down, man. Look at this. The NASDAQ's going down. I'm fucking sinking right now. What the hell is going on? What the hell is going on Wall Street? What's going on, man? So Amazon down 60 cents, Apple down another 56 cents to 156. Wow. The summer rally over, crushed. Wall Street crushed its own rally because they didn't like what Jerome Powell said. Facebook is up a little bit. Google up 78 cents, the mighty Google. We love Google. Google, the parent company of YouTube, is going up. Rivian down 70 cents to 32. Tesla down $3 to 279. Nvidia, technology company, down on news that fucking stupid Biden, dumbass Joe Biden said something about Chinese trade, drove fucking Nvidia down $8 a share, or 5.5%. Joe Biden not making friends on Wall Street. Bitcoin down slightly. Not so slightly. A percentage and a half. War stocks, Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, Boeing, all down today. Down. Right? They need you know what the military industrial complex sites companies need? They need a good space launch. They need to inspire the world to travel to space and spend endless billions of dollars to do it. That'll save them. You want to save the military-industrial complex? Point all energy to space. Trump agreed. Trump started Space Force. You haven't heard much about that lately. You haven't heard much about Space Force, have you? Remember Trump, Space Force? We're going to go to space. Haven't heard much about it. Because why? Because it's got Trump's name attached to it, I guess. But nonetheless, so the markets are getting rocked right now. The holy vaccine stocks. Moderna down $1.79. Oh no. Johnson & Johnson up 40 cents, and Pfizer flat, up a penny, right? You see it right there, $44 a share, 45. Netflix down 2.5. Twitter down another 15 cents. So markets overall getting rocked right now on the idea that the Federal Reserve, in cahoots with the central bankers, are being very hawkish on the market. They don't give a fuck about the market, they're saying. All they care about is inflation. And their only tool, right, to ease inflation is to jack up the short-term interest rates on banks that transpire into lower equity prices and elevated interest rates for you. Why are mortgage rates at 7%, 8%, heading maybe to 10%? Because the central bankers are getting, the banks are getting a higher interest rate. They borrow money. It's more expensive for them to get the money to give to you. During the pandemic, it was zero. It was fucking zero. In Japan, it was below zero. They were giving extra money to banks to lend it out. And that's what was happening during the pandemic. That's why corporations were getting free money to invest in the stock market, right? Pumping and dumping into the markets that were driving it up. Now, all of that has dried up. So what happens? Liquidity drives up and the market goes down. So that's what's going on right now. The Dow has been between 30 and 35,000 for 2 years. Right? It keeps going up and down. It keeps threatening to crash the top. The NASDAQ is currently at 11. So market's going down, man. I got skin in the game. I'm not happy about that. I wanted to see it, continue to go up. But sometimes we don't always get our way in life. So we were talking about this. The NASA Webb Telescope captures hypnotizing swirl of phantom galaxy. Good morning, everybody in the chat. I forgot to say hello. How rude of me. Vinny DiMartini on the wrench, motherfucker. Right? Be sweet in the chat. Be respectful. And Vinny or I won't have to wrench you the F out. And shout out to Sterling Price Sterling Price, where are you? Sterling Price, a friend of the program, has not been here for a while. Maybe maybe there's trouble in paradise. I don't know. But Sterling Price, if you're there, we love you. We respect you. We want to know your well-being. Come on home, man. Come on home. We're here. We're here. If it's something I said, I apologize. I would never intend to ever hurt Sterling Price. I don't care what other trolls and jerk-offs may say about you, me, or anybody else. I love you, and we're out there. We're looking for you. We want to know where is Sterling. Let's do a hashtag. Where is Sterling? Sterling? Question mark. Hashtag. Where is Sterling? Huh? We want to know, man. So here's this telescope. This is floating around in space right now. It's called the Webb Telescope, and it captures hypnotizing swirl of phantom galaxy. Right? Phantom galaxy, right? Fantasy. I love fantasy, right? I live in fantasy. My mind abides in fantasy. Right? NASA's $10 billion James Webb Space Telescope has provided an even deeper look into the cosmos, revealing the clearest view of the phantom galaxy, more formally known as M74, located around 32 million light years away from Earth. 32 million light years away from Earth. We have a camera floating around in space that can see 32 million light years away, right? And if you don't believe it, I guess don't believe it. I mean, okay, look, ladies and gentlemen, members of the conspiracy theory, team out there in YouTube and elsewhere. Everything has holes in it. Everything under the stars and beyond the stars has holes in it. Every story, every theory, everything we see, feel, and touch is impermanent, full of holes. Right? And the deeper you go, the more you realize the emptiness of it. Right? That is just the reality of it. To work yourself up, for example, with elections, right? People say, and there's conspiracy theorists that try to troll this channel that'll say, if you say, if you follow an election, for example, I don't know, Bernie Sanders or versus Hillary Clinton, you're accused of being in the duopoly of election nonsense that is invalid, and therefore, because you're following an election, that makes you ignorant and stupid and dumb and not worthy of speaking. All right, there's people that say that, but the reality is, what you're really doing is you're covering how people pick their leaders. Right? People pick leaders. Human beings will pick leaders. Two sides evolve, which I disagree. I agree that that's not the best way to do it, but that's the way humans do it. They pick, right? And the more you look into those systems, you realize that the systems are flawed. Some people call it cheating. Other people call it outmaneuvering. Some people call it fake. Some people call it so real. Right? So what I'm trying to say is everything has holes in it, including elections, including space investigation, including your own health. Right? There's people out there that say you need, many injections of various chemicals into your body to jack up your immune system because you can't do it by yourself, right? Or you're going to die. There's many people that say that the way you feel is we call it depression and or anxiety or other forms of traumatic stress syndrome. I say that there's incredible gaping holes in those stories, and that you are the best caregiver of yourself. By taking care of yourself, you inadvertently take care of others, right? Because you're healthy and you're moving through the planet in a healthier state. So I say to you that every story has holes in it, and at some point, the deeper you go deeper into your own rabbit hole. Don't do that. Stay objective in your exploration, like we're going to do right now, right? So as I say, oh, there's a telescope in space that could see 32 million light years away, somebody is going to say that, no, that's fake. That's Hollywood. That's not real. They're not showing you real images, right? But let's assume that just for a second, that humans are capable of developing some kind of microscopic fucking device in space that sees further out into the planet. And what they discover is that what's going out is endless, infinite, and it looks like a fucking swirl. A swirl. Hit the refresh button, right? Let's see. NIA says, you being sarcastic or stupid? Neither, or both. So let's look at this. So Webb's sharp vision has revealed delicate filaments of gas and dust in the grandiose spiral arms of M74, which wind outwards from the center of the image. Winds outward from the center of the image. A lack of gas in the nuclear region also provides an unobstructed view of the nuclear star cluster at the galaxy center. Look at it. Look at the fucking image. Right? If this image is real, right, where have we seen the swirl before? Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I ask you, where have we seen the swirl before? Know that Jesus said, on earth as it is in heaven. You remember that prayer? You know that prayer? On earth as it is in heaven. It's our Father who art in heaven, right? On earth as it is in heaven. Even Jesus knew it. All the prophets knew it, right? But there's the swirl. Where have we seen the swirl? If you don't know what I'm talking about, right? The swirl out there that we're discovering is here, right? Here's evidence of the swirl. What do you see when you look into this shell? Right? Who made this shell? Where did this shell come from? How on fucking earth did some fish, some kind of sea life know the infinite circular nature of the universe? How is that possible? There it is, right? That is a authentic seashell picked from a beach. I believe I got this one in Rockaway, maybe in New Jersey somewhere. I don't know. But I collect them, and I got them. They're sitting all around my house. But there's the infinite swirl. Look at it. Look at that. Right? And now let's look at this. There it is. Right? That's what we're finding out about our world. Right? Hold on a second. I'll put the question mark up because we're asking questions. There we are. Oops. Oh, my shit is piling out there. Hold on a second. There we go. So, right, what is the difference? Right. There's the images that they're catching. capturing, right? The telescope is capturing, and there's the shell, right? On Earth as it is in heaven, right? There's a lot of mysteries in the world. So many mysteries that we don't know about. But if this is 32 million light years away, maybe the whole thing is a circle, right? Right? And it goes, where does the middle, right? Where does the middle of the shell, where is the middle of the shell? Is there a middle? Is the middle in my hand? It has to be, right? Right? Because I have the entire universe in my hand. Right? But aren't I part of the shell now because I've connected to it? Right? Those are the types of questions that space travel not necessarily answers, but definitely exaggerates. Now, I said earlier that the deeper you look at things, you find holes in the story. So you could argue that I'm in a deep rabbit hole by exploring the fact that there is a inescapable correlation between a picture that astroscientists have captured using a very high power image capturing camera and the shell in my hand, right? That a fucking slug in the ocean had already in their DNA. It was contained in their DNA. The snail did not have to think about making this shell. It just happened, right? It just appeared out of fucking nowhere. Isn't that fascinating? I find it fascinating. But anyway, here they are. Here's the images. A phantom galaxy has been a significant focus of astronomers studying the origin and structure. I'm going to get some teeth very soon. I'm ordering them. Actually, my very, very good friend of the program is we're working on it right now. We're going to do some impressions and we're going to get Conti some teeth so he could speak again, and so on. So, but for now, you got to bear with me. The Phoenix Galaxy has been a significant focus of astronomers studying the origin and structure of galactic spirals. In the chat, let's do a survey and see how many people are with this or without it. Right? So one equals these are real images. 2 equals NASA fakes. Which one do you believe? Right? Do you believe that? No. Vinny DiMartini points out that NASA equals not a straight answer. I don't mean NASA. NASA took the pictures, right? I'm just saying, are the pictures? I'll clarify. 1 is, this is real. 2, it's fake. It's I don't know, Photoshop. I could make something like this in Photoshop if I wanted to. So that's the so fascinating stuff coming out of our space. It takes our mind off of disease on the planet, killing everybody, and higher prices for food and all that other stuff. Right? So let's talk about Joe Rogan for a minute here. And Joe Rogan calls to vote Republican. They're trying to ban the cancel culture is now converging on Joe Rogan for his opinion, because that's what we do today. If we don't like your opinion on something, we call you misinformation or disinformation, medically or otherwise, and we try to shut down your voice. So they're doing it to Joe Rogan. They have been, and here's what Joe Rogan said, and then we'll look at the backlash.
Who is alive today had ever experienced no one who is alive today had ever experienced a true pandemic. And I'm hoping that now that this is over, people are going to, recognize that some serious errors were made and not repeat those. That's the best you can get out of it.
So what do you tell those people?
Vote Republican.
Boom, bang, pow. Right? He's saying, Joe Rogan, political statement saying that we've never had a pandemic before. The way the current political power handled it was deeply flawed, and that we should get them out of office. Right? Now that's just a political, statement. Right? That's what we do in America. That's what elections are. I pick a candidate and I campaign for that candidate because I don't like the way the current political party is handling my country. So I'm going to try to get this rhetoric as the GOP embraces full fascism. So there's a organization. If you support a boycott of Spotify until they drop Joe Rogan's podcast after he just ignorantly urged Americans to vote Republican. Well, what's wrong with voting Republican? Is it such a bad thing? Well, I guess it is if you got your head up at the political rabbit hole and you only see blue. Then red is the opposite. How dare you vote opposite of what I tell you to vote, what I think is right. I think this is right, and because you're promoting that, you should be canceled. Crazy, right? Crazy stuff, right? I mean, here he is. He's talking to a football player, right? Fucking Green Bay Packer quarterback Aaron Rodgers. Right? Did the Democrats oversee the pandemic? Yes. Did Dr. Fauci work hand in hand with the Democratic establishment? Yes. Did many people get harmed by the shutdowns and the push for medications and all the nonsense that went on during the pandemic? The answer is yes. So why is it bad for alleged free-thinking Americans who allegedly have free elections to want to vote out that party? Why would they be canceled and silenced? Because we're not free. It's not fair. It's not. Those are the things that have the greatest holes in them, if you care to look. Right? So Joe Rogan taking some heat. With him, also Trump taking a lot of heat. Right? They're trying to get Trump for obstruction of justice. How the DOJ has built a case against Trump for obstruction. Right? Trump said he had top secret classified information at his pad in Florida, Mar-a-Lago, and the FBI said, we're going to go check it out. The DOJ says, give it back. And Trump didn't give it back. That's Trump's bad, by the way. Why did Trump leave the White House with, classified shit? Why not just give it back, right? You got a memory. You remember what it was, right? Just, here, I don't want these boxes of fucking garbage. I already read them, right? It's like taking books. You read a book. What happens after you read a book? Some books I'll keep. I don't even read books anymore because they're kind of obsolete. It's an obsolete way of absorbing information. We absorb more information online now, but back in the day when we collected books, once you read a book, you kind of discard it, right? Why didn't Trump just discard all that stuff? Well, just leave it where it was, right? Grab his hat, get on the fucking helicopter and go home after you're done being president. But Trump didn't do that. And for that, the dirty Democrats with their Department of Justice, Merrick Garland, the disgruntled guy who didn't get to be Supreme Court justice because the Republicans wouldn't let him in, and they allowed Trump to pick 3 Supreme Court justices on top of Merrick Garland. Trump never picked Merrick Garland for Supreme Court justice because he didn't like him. Right? And for that, now that Merrick Garland is the head of the DOJ, he's going after Trump. It's politics, right? That's what it is, right? So Trump is now being accused of obstruction of justice. What Trump had in the House doesn't really matter. It's all top secret. he was a former president. He has the right to declassify any of it. But we have a rule in this country that you're not supposed to take it with you. And if you do, could you kindly send it back? And Trump failed to do that. And not only did he fail to do it, the FBI had to go down there and get it, right? And found other stuff that he failed to disclose. And for that, Trump can be indicted, can be legally indicted for obstruction of justice. So, as Chuck Schumer said, the DOJ and the deep state has 6 ways, 6 different ways to fucking hell to get you. Or whatever he said, I'm paraphrasing. Well, you remember when Chuck Schumer said, don't fuck with the deep state because they'll get you. Well, they're coming after Trump. Trump went after the FBI, and now they're going after him. Trump went after Hunter Biden, the president's son, and now the president and his son are going after Trump. And you want to ask, why did Bernie Sanders fold his cards? Why did Bernie Sanders put his tail between his legs and play ball? Why did Mark Zuckerberg fold and play ball? Why does anybody that the FBI and the DOJ go after fold? Because they will smear you and ultimately vilify you and try to prosecute you. Right? Who's smarter? Who's smarter in this spectrum of possibilities? Bernie Sanders, who folded and still has his seat as a sitting senator, although quiet, or Dr. Fauci bowing out. Right? Who's smarter? Or Trump, who keeps screaming from the rooftops as they plan to put him in a prison cell. Not that that's ever happened. A former sitting president has never been prosecuted for anything in our American history. But it could change. It could change. Right? That's what we're leading to. So here's the box of shit that doesn't matter, all labeled top secret. Here's the paid hack going after Trump to lock him up because Trump said he was going to lock up Hillary Clinton for doing the exact same thing. Right? The world saw classified information that WikiLeaks revealed on Hillary Clinton's private server in her basement. And when asked to turn it over, Hillary Clinton destroyed the server along with all of the phone devices that she was using to communicate with that server that had on it classified information. The Democrats are now accusing Trump of the very thing that they are guilty of doing. What do you know? What do you know? It's all come back, and this guy's leading the charge. Right? Why do people not believe the federal government and the FBI? Because of situations like this. The doors are flying open here in Northeast Pennsylvania. The wind is blowing. So anyway, man. So that's what's going on in your world. Here we are. So, all right. It looks like the Nasdaq's doing a little bounce. No, is it doing a bounce? Hell, fucking no. Down, all the way down. Nasdaq's still down. Dow Industrial Average. For me, like I said, the market is an exhausting process, an exhausting place to be right now, especially when you're getting fucking crushed. What's this one right here? Google. So thank you, everybody, for joining me. Marcus Conte reporting. Thank you, everybody in the chat, for being here. Thank you, Weevil Girl. Tomorrow is Friday, Freaky Friday. Come on down. We're going to talk to some fine people. You are welcome to come on board and enter the stream, the live stream. Right before we do that, I'll give a little instruction on how Jim Gerard has tried to get on the show twice, and because of the technology, got stuffed. And we'll try to I'll try to coach people on how to get on. It's not complicated. It's just you have to do a certain thing. You have to listen to, you got to talk to me and whoever else is in the meeting in the window that the meeting is open in, not on YouTube, because I'm about 20, 25 seconds in your future. And that's just the reality, right? So you got to come into the future with me, right? And I'll show you how to do that tomorrow. So thank you everybody for joining me. My name is Marcus Conte. I'm a guy who makes videos on YouTube. Nothing really more than that. That's all I am. I'm just a guy who makes videos. So have a great day, everybody. Marcus Conte reporting.